Following the death of Bellator at the hands of the PFL, many fighters that were absorbed into the PFL roster have entered free agency, such as Patricio Pitbull, Ryan Bader, Gegard Mousasi, and Yoel Romero. But one of those fighters that I did not name, I think would be a really, really incredible addition to the UFC, and Dana White has expressed interest in signing this fighter. And that fighter is Aaron Pico, a child prodigy, someone who has held multiple amateur boxing world championships, multiple amateur wrestling accolades since he was a child, before he even hit his teens. And he grew up under the Bellator banner. Despite him losing his first fight quite embarrassingly and having some significant setbacks in the process, he has come back like a bat out of hell, knocking out everyone inside in brutal fashion, and it's just been incredibly exciting no matter the result. And I'm here to break down why the UFC should 110% sign Aaron Pico. So, what makes Aaron Pico so awesome? First of all, his unique stance, then his vicious but really simple boxing, and then his excellent takedowns and top pressure. So, let's start with his unique stance. Unique stance. Aaron Pico, in his earlier career, and in moments nowadays, has shown a very, very unique stance, at least for MMA standards. A very wide, extremely wide and low base, similar to that of a wrestler, almost reminiscent of his amateur wrestling background. Now, this allows him to have more powerful and explosive entries on his shots, and just be more effective with the wrestling. He can more quickly get to the legs and the hips, and it's proven him very successful, but it also means he can get a lot more power into his punches. He's coiled like a spring. He can just explode whenever he needs to, and that's the thing with wrestling. It's a very explosive sport, and it actually does translate to striking fairly well. Just the big ball of muscle that Aaron Pico is, it works quite well for him, and in that stance, he can load up some massive shots from there. Now, this stance has got him into trouble sometimes, especially when Adam Borics flying knee KO'd him, but Pico learned. Again, he grew up in Bellator. His first fight was was in Bellator, and he made the adjustments necessary, and he has toned it down a bit and adjusted it accordingly and used it where he needs to. Vicious but simple boxing. Aaron Pico has got hands, and they are terrifying, but his overall striking game is actually quite simple. He really likes the 1-2, and the whole reason he loves the 1-2 is because it loads up the left hook. He is very left-hand dominant in his striking. He'll often throw the 1-2 to get his opponents to back up or shell up, and then dig shots to the body. And he will do this relentlessly. It is almost the primary thing he does in the striking. 1-2, get the opponent's hands up, or 1-2 again, makes the reads, digs to the body, digs the left hook to the body, and I've never seen someone so religiously attack the body. Even to the likes of Ilia Topuria, he attacks the body constantly. He also, that success translates to the left hook. That right hand, mechanically, it loads up your hips for the left hook, and he's been able to score some vicious, brutal knockouts with his left hook. But also, there are good body punches in MMA. JDM, Ilia Topuria are the main ones that come to mind. But it's very rare that you see people get finishes with exclusively body shots, and Aaron Pico is one of those people. I have seen him hold people in half like lawn chairs with his body shots, and that's because he whips his hook. It's not a tight, short, perfect punch. No, it's not technically sound, but he whips it with so much power. He is driving through his opponent, and while it's not technical, it's mechanically strong, and he delivers such a large amount of power, and his stance helps with that as well. He also has a really good right hand, a right overhand, and he's used it in some of his fights, just countering over the opponent's jab or left hook, or even on their kicks. He does carry a lot of power, and he knows how to use it effectively. He doesn't overcomplicate his striking, it's just effective. Takedowns and top pressure. Aaron Pico has an extensive amateur wrestling background, and that has translated excellently into MMA. He's really good at timing his entries under the opponent's punches, or just forcing his own entries by, again, throwing that 1-2 to get the guard up, and then ducking under. He's just really, really good at it. And he's a strong featherweight. He's really, really good for the weight class. Has a lot of strength, a lot of power. And has at times fought a lightweight successfully, and I think he does now. And he's just really good at timing his entries. And one of the things that impresses me the most is he's really good at following through on the takedown. So he'll get a takedown, someone will start getting back up, he'll keep going with the wrestling. That chain wrestling is something that you only get if you do pure wrestling, right? Those long wrestling exchanges where you're constantly going for takedowns, that's what you get from that experience. It's why that a lot of strikers that have good takedown defense, they struggle with volume wrestling. It's because they haven't been in that environment where for 2 minutes straight, these athletic monsters are just constantly trying to take you down, and Aaron Pico is exactly that, and he's excellent with it. And when he gets on the ground, he's not just, lay and pray, sit in half guard. He has really, really good top pressure. He's really good at shutting down the opponent, following where they move, maintaining good position, just keeping them on the ground, all while doing some really good ground and pound. He's very, very aggressive with the ground and pound, both punches and elbows, cycling through positions whenever he can, just being really smart and just being really aggressive on the ground. And it's really nice to see someone that is aggressive with the ground and pound. It's just always a nice sight to see, as just exciting grappling. It's always great. But Aaron Pico, certainly, it's a great wrinkle in his game. And Chael Sonnen even said, Aaron Pico's at his best when he uses his wrestling, then his striking, and he blends the two together so well. That is just the summary of Aaron Pico's style. I recommend you go and you watch his Bellator fights. A good handful of them are on YouTube. But I'm really excited to see what's next for Aaron Pico. Naturally, obviously, the next step would be the UFC. Dana White has said the matchmakers are extremely interested in signing Aaron Pico, and Aaron Pico has said he's very interested in going to the UFC. Now, he said he wants to go after Topuria. This was before Topuria vacated the belt, which leads me to believe that Pico would go to featherweight. And I think it'd be a great addition to the featherweight division, especially along with Patricio Pitbull. Imagine if, let's say, they both get wins, right? And we have Patricio Pitbull versus Aaron Pico in the UFC. I don't know if that's happened before, but we've had two Bellator fighters, at least well-known Bellator fighters, fight each other in the UFC and at a high level. But that would be an extremely exciting fight. And let's think about some of the matchups. We've got Aaron Pico versus Alexander Volkanovski, Diego Lopez. Let's think Movsar Evlov. The wrestling exchanges would be excellent in that. Versus Arnold Allen. That would be an excellent scrap. Imagine how far Fiziev comes down. Fiziev versus Pico. That would be sick. There's just a lot of great matchups for Aaron Pico in the UFC, and I'm really excited to see what he does when he gets signed, because he will get signed. It's not if, it's when, and I cannot wait for it. So anyway, guys, that was the breakdown. I just wanted to bring some light to Aaron Pico for a bit. And anyway, if you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill, and enjoy the rest of your day.